Hello everyone, welcome to SIUK India webinar. Thank you for joining us today. We are now live with University of Falmouth. Today we have Adrian, Arav and Judith with us who will let us know more about this special webinar session. Please feel free to post all the questions in the chat box on the right. We'll answer all the questions after the presentation during the Q&A session. So let's start.
Welcome to Falmouth University. I'm Dr. Seamus O'Brien and I'm the Director for the Cornwall Business School. At Falmouth, we do business differently. It's where creativity meets commerce and ideas and innovation are given space to grow. We do not see entrepreneur as a job title, we think of it as a characteristic. We will focus on equipping you with future-facing real-world skills. We will introduce you to professional networks such as Launchpad, Startup Community, Cornwall Chamber of Commerce, Visit Cornwall and many more.
Hi, I'm Amelia Cruz. I graduated from Falmouth University last year and I studied business and digital marketing. I currently work at Co-op Energy, working on renewable energy projects, and I'm extremely environmentally centred and obsessed with the sea. I would say my most favourite memory of studying BSc Business and Digital Marketing at Falmouth was getting to collaborate with so many amazing people and just being able to hear everybody's ideas and just create some amazing work all together. There's two fundamental things that Falmouth University taught me that has really helped me with my career so far. And the first one is the sense of creativity and utilising that within my work, because it just adds a different perspective and it's something that a lot of people maybe don't bring to the table. It also helps you to find your purpose and find your driver, which has been really, really essential when I was going for my first interviews to start to develop my career.
My name is Adrian Bossy and I'm Head of Business and Experience Design here at Cornwall Business School. As part of my role, I'm responsible for the academic delivery across our undergraduate, postgraduate and CPD short course provision. Being based at Falmouth University and surrounded by students on creative disciplines is fantastic in terms of embedding a spirit of innovation and ingenuity into our students across our courses in business, marketing and experience and tourism courses. In part, our students learn by doing it for real, addressing challenges that they've been set and working within our fantastic facilities on the Penryn campus. When working in groups, our students are able to use our Google Office type space where they can work in teams to address the challenges they've been set. And we also bring in numerous industry speakers and take students on field trips and set industry-based challenges as part of their assignments. We are keen to foster an ethical approach in terms of sustainability, well-being, perhaps inspired by the beautiful surroundings here within Cornwall. Upon graduation, our students enter a range of industries. One example would be Zach Hancock, who graduated from our Creative Events Management course in 2016. Zach had taken a placement with Spotify while he was at Falmouth, and he used the connections that he'd made to get a job for the social chain. When Zach started working there were 30 people and he had a team of 2. When he left 18 months later, there were 750 employees and he had a team of 38 reporting to him. He then went on to set up his own business.
Just did a pretty sketchy TikTok.
Some of the jobs that will be available to you upon graduation don't necessarily exist at the point that you enter the course. So that fast-moving side of the jobs market is something that we really tune our courses to help you succeed when you graduate.
I'm Chloe and I'm an accelerated business and management student, and I also have my own business. I also do a multiple of other things as well. The most important thing I've learned is that portfolio is everything. Gaining experience, networking, meeting with people, potential employers and collaborating with people at the university as well. It will be the way you get into your career, I believe.
So if you're interested in doing it for real in the worlds of business, marketing, experience design, then Falmouth University may well be the place to you, and we really look forward to meeting you, perhaps at an open day or an on-campus visit.
Over to you, Adrian.
Hi everyone, I'm just going to share my screen and then I'll be able to just give you a bit of a presentation around our courses here at Falmouth University. Let's get this sorted out a bit more. Okay, so I hope you can hear me, and welcome to this webinar. As I said in the film, I'm Adrian Bossy. I am Head of Subject for Business and Experience Design here at Falmouth University, Cornwall Business School. So welcome. First question I'm going to answer really is what does the undergraduate offer of the business school look like? And you can see from this screen that we have a range of undergraduate courses. So we have BSc Hons Business and Digital Marketing as a 3-year course, Business and Entrepreneurship as a 3-year course, Business Management as also as a 3-year course. Those are on campus on our Penryn campus. We also have an online BSc Hons Business and Marketing, which is available in a 2 or a 3-year course. So that's the business side of our undergraduate provision. We then have our experience design side, which includes BA Hons Creative Events Management as a 3-year course, and then BA Hons Sustainable Festival Management and BA Hons Sustainable Tourism Management, both as 2-year accelerated courses. And for those 2 latter courses, they are 50% roughly on our Penryn campus, but they also spend some time, those students spend some time on the Eden Project campus, which is a really unique visitor attraction based in Cornwall. So if you come to Falmouth to study business or experience design, you'll get the chance while you're here to both engage with placement opportunities, work with our student-run agency, and work around some elements of potentially setting up your own business in the future or delivering your own events and campaigns. So we have an ethos around this sort of sense of doing it for real, and that's our students respond really well to that. You can see a quote from one of our business and entrepreneurship graduates here, sort of talking about the business challenges, those real life tasks that we set students as being really positive, a positive part of their education journey with us. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the degrees, and I'll bring that kind of doing it for real thing into this as well. So we have, as I said, a suite of 3 experience design degrees. We have Creative Events Management, Sustainable Festival Management, and Sustainable Tourism Management. Really pleased to say that those degrees are now ranked 3rd in the UK in the Hospitality, Event Management and Tourism ranking of the Guardian University Guide here in the UK. So that's a top 3 ranking for us for that subject area. So we're really proud of that. It hasn't come out of nowhere. We were 6th last year, so we're moving up the rankings with these courses, and we take a cutting edge approach to the courses, and I'll be able to tell you a bit more about that as we go through. So Creative Events Management. This is one of our longest running courses with graduates all over the world carrying out some fantastic roles in the worlds of events and beyond. If you come and study on this course, you will undertake 4 assessed events during your time with us. That's more than any other event management course that we're aware of in the UK. You will also have the opportunity to take 6 micro placements. Micro placements are up to 21 hours of working on placement with a business or volunteering for a charity or similar organisation. They are really valuable part of your learning experience with us, and we have a placement week each study block. so that you can take those. And just to explain, at Falmouth, we have 3 study blocks. Each contains 12 weeks of teaching. So that's 3 during an academic year. First one starts in September, second one late January, third one very late May. Okay, so if you're doing a 3-year course with us, which creative events management is, you'll just be working during the first 2 of those study blocks, the September one and the January one. And that'll give you time over the summer, to do a variety of things. You may want to return home, you may want to work, you may want to take additional placements. So within this creative events management course, a couple of examples of modules here. We've got wellbeing in experience management. This is incredibly important in the event sector. In fact, wellbeing is a topic that we've really forefronted across all of our days here at Falmouth, and we've done that prior to the pandemic. But clearly, it's of even more importance now. We're in the midst of a global pandemic. Another example module, that's a first year module, the wellbeing one. A second year module would be legal and financial management in experience design. So looking at the legal side and the financial side, which obviously link together. And then a third year module example here is creative and ethical leadership. So that sort of strand of ethical activity, responsible activity runs all the way through our courses. Next course to tell you about, sustainable festival management. This is a 2-year course, so it utilises all 3 of our 12-week study blocks, includes a year at the Eden Project, has the 6 micro project placements, the same as the events management course. Some examples of modules here for you: marketing and digital media, so that's a level 4 module. Crisis management for festivals and events, so again, very topical. We had validated this prior to the various crises gripping the world at the moment. So we were kind of ahead of the curve, if you like, with that. And then also a live sustainable festival project as a final sort of capstone project for students on that course. The image here is of a festival at the Eden Project. So every year the Eden Project runs the Eden Sessions, and so this is an image from the Eden Sessions from last year. It's a really unique place to see music-based festival performances, and I can say that with some authority because my previous career, prior to being an academic, which I've been for about 20 years, prior to that I was an artist manager in the music industry. So I've, for my sins, toured the world and seen lots and lots of venues, and I can absolutely confirm that the Eden Project is an amazing and very unique venue. Apologies for the slight noise in the background. There's some hail falling on the roof of my house. Okay. Sustainable tourism management then is the third of our experience design courses, another 2-year course, split campus again between our Penryn campus and our Eden Project campus. We provide bus transport for students to and from those 2 campuses. And by being based in a visitor attraction, you're right at the heart of the tourism industry in Cornwall. Cornwall has 5 million tourist visitors a year. It's really high profile in the UK and internationally as a tourism destination. We have amazing cultural and also natural environments here. So it's a great place to study tourism. A couple of examples here of modules on this course. Sustainable tourism guide. So in that module, you get the chance to devise and deliver your own sustainable tourism guide project. It's a great example of doing it for real. There's also, so that's a level 4 first year module. Demonstrating sustainability, that's a module where you go and do a sustainability audit, that's at level 5. And then international destination project at level 6. This is where you go abroad to do some work in an international destination. This year's students are going to Holland, the Netherlands, in order to do their international destination project. Okay, so that was the experience design side. Now I'm going to talk about the business degrees at undergraduate. So we have a suite of 3 business degrees on campus: business and digital marketing, business and entrepreneurship, business management. Those 3 courses share some modules. So here are some examples. So from the first year of the courses, market intelligence, the art of strategy, navigating uncertainty, they're shared modules. The art of strategy is unusual to find a strategy module in a first year program. However, we think that by learning strategy early, you'll be able to take a strategic approach to your entire time with us. So it's almost feels as though it's never too soon to learn to be strategic. Navigating uncertainty, again, another module that we validated prior to the global pandemic, but clearly a really timely module to be and topic to be thinking of, and that whole piece around change management, risk assessment, etc. is these are really core business skills. Some more examples of shared modules then. We've got demonstrating sustainability, we've got a financial module, financial insights, there's a social action project at level 6, and we also have a design thinking module in your first year. Design thinking is a creative approach to problem solving, and one of the unique aspects of business at Falmouth is that we do take this design-led approach to considering issues that face businesses, not such a wicked problems, so seemingly intractable problems. We take a design-based approach to try and suggest solutions. Okay, each of the courses then have their own specialist modules, and I'm going to give you some examples here. Well, here's a list. I'll just pick a couple from them rather than me reading the whole list for you. Okay, so within this one then, I'm going to pick out 3 modules. So firstly, present and future of marketing communications. Now, digital marketing and marketing more broadly is an incredibly fast moving field. And so understanding where it is, where it might be going, and then keeping an eye on it as you progress through your degree is really good practice. And so this is one of the first modules that you will do if you join us and study business and digital marketing. B2B and the marketing ecosystem. This is a business to business module. So thinking about the ways that we don't market business to consumer, we market business to other business. And so that's one of your second year modules. And then lastly, consumer psychology and emotion by design. I'll just focus on that a little bit. That whole piece around the psychology of why people buy things, how we can sell to them is really critical, particularly in digital environments. So there's a module there that focuses on that topic. So moving on to our business and entrepreneurship specialist modules. I'm going to relight on a couple of these. So we have well-being in business. Now, within this module, we are considering the well-being of ourselves as entrepreneurs or students as we study the course, but we're also considering the well-being of the team, our colleagues, and the well-being of our customers or clients. And increasingly, this is a really significant consideration for entrepreneurs, for business managers, and for marketeers across the piece. So that's a first year module. Intelligent brand building. So that's a marketing-based module, if you like, but that has particular relevance for our business and entrepreneurship students. And then if we look at collaborative practice project growth challenge, this is a third year module where students work on a project to build a business concept. And then business management, apologies, a slight typo on the slide there. Couple of examples here of modules. I mean, there's a list, but I'm not going to speak to all of them. So I'm going to pick human resource management. So that sense of how we manage colleagues, how we ensure that our workforce is working together to make a difference. There's a quote from a a famous American anthropologist writing in the 50s who said something along the lines of small, the only thing that ever changed the world is small groups, is teams of people working together. So how do we maximize the productivity and efficiency and support our teams to work together? So that's that HR module for you. There's also one on global economies and international markets. We generally deliver that one with significant impact from speakers who've worked for the UK government around international trade, development and marketing. So it's a really high level module. Responsive leadership and social change. So that's another take on leadership, how to deliver that in a responsive, socially focused manner. Okay, so I've talked about the undergraduate courses. I've talked about the modules. You may be wondering how you're assessed. So the first thing to say is that sadly, there are no exams. We do not assess through exams here at Falmouth University. Instead, you will have a varied assessment diet. So for instance, you might be asked to produce a market research portfolio, a pitch, and then that pitch might be in person or it might be online. You might be asked to develop a project plan, write a critical journal, create an online blog, or deliver a small, relatively short academic essay. So a range of assessments. And then in addition to that, there might be business plans. That whole presentation piece is quite a big thing for us. We like to give you several presentations as you go through the course, because that's a real key skill in business. So varied assessment diet, mixture of academic with also some doing it for real industry type activities in there as well. So a nice mix, I would say, from an assessment point of view. You might also be wondering about academic staff here at Falmouth. So what I'd say to you about that is that our staff are very industry connected. We tend to, the majority of our staff have had a career in industry as well as a career in academia, and that is a really valuable thing. So I'll use myself as an example of that. So as I think I mentioned earlier, my background is in the music industry. I used to be an artist manager. For 15 years, I was a company director of my own company, and I also set up and run 23 other UK-based companies and 2 small American corporations. And some of those artists were super successful. Equally, I then transferred into academia. I've had 20 years in academia. I've won awards for teaching excellence, and I am research active, which explains the picture of someone holding a phone in front of me at a festival. It's always the tallest person in the room that stands in front of me when I'm at a live event, and then they always hold their phone up and I end up watching what's happening on their phone. And my research is around what is a live experience in a modern sort of digitally affected festival environment. And that mixture of industry experience, academic excellence, and also research active staff means that we're constantly feeding new ideas back into our teaching, makes it a really vibrant taught environment. And whenever we have surveys, staff are always picked out by students as being one of the big strengths of being at Falmouth, as you can see from these couple of quotes I've got on the bottom of this slide. So lastly then, I've been asked to talk about our postgraduate offer as well. So we have the following postgraduate offer. We have on-campus MSc Entrepreneurship Launchpad and MSc Entrepreneurship itself. And then online, we have MA Creative Events Management and MSc Sustainable Business. Clearly, the online courses you can join from anywhere in the world. They have a couple of face-to-face events per year. Those are optional, not mandatory. So you can study the entire course online, and you can take them as a part-time option. So you can be working while you study based in your own home country. The MSc Entrepreneurship, the 2 versions of that, are both on-campus qualifications based at our Penryn campus. The difference between the two is that MSc Entrepreneurship is linked to our MSc Entrepreneurship Launchpad is linked to our Launchpad Startup program. So within that program, students work in teams to set up a business and develop that as they work through their MSc. The MSc Entrepreneurship as a standalone course does not have that link to Launchpad, so you are not starting a business. And this is it makes, for instance, student visas, etc., easier. But you still benefit from that startup kind of environment, if you like, and some really cutting edge teaching around entrepreneurship and starting and building businesses. And I'm going to give the last word on this presentation to some students. Hopefully you can see this slide and you can see some of the nice things that students have said about the courses. So I'm just going to pause for a second and give you a moment to read those slides. I'll have a sip of my coffee. Cheers, everyone. And then I think we're going to open this up for some questions.
Thank you so much for such a knowledgeable presentation.
I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yeah. We are now moving towards the Q&A session. The first question the student is asking, how can we get a job easily after completing Masters in Business?
Okay, so the masters that we have business, which is a online course. So if that's the one that we're talking about, then clearly that's giving you expertise around sustainable business practices. We've developed this as a really cutting edge course, which links to that whole piece around the increased need, both ethically and sort of legislatively, if you like, for businesses to act sustainably. So, you know, that whole piece around sustainable business is the kind of key that unlocks the door, if you like, to a range of careers across business, you know, globally. And the direction of travel around sustainability and around legislation and the expectations on businesses to act sustainability seems pretty clear, doesn't it? It's an increasing expectation globally that businesses will become more and more sustainable. And the fact is that within most businesses, people who know how to run businesses sustainably are in the minority. So by taking that sustainable business degree, you're really giving, you know, you're putting yourself in a really beneficial situation, I would suggest.
Thank you. The next question. Please tell me about the admission process for MBA. What is the average age of student attending your MBA? What about the post-study work visa?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now. Yes, we can hear you.
So, sorry, I lost you a little bit. I didn't hear the whole question, but the first thing to say, because you were talking about an MBA, is the fact that we don't run an MBA, we run an MSc in entrepreneurship. So that's the first thing to say. It's not an MBA, it's an MSc. Sorry, I'm an academic. I have to be very precise about things. What I'd say then is, in terms of the admissions process, so there were various facets to that question, weren't there? So in terms of the process, I think that's clearly laid out on the website. So the best place to go for that information really is the website. It's basically about putting together a statement, putting in an application. We will then process your application for you. In terms of the demographics of the students, on our masters, I'm going to see, excuse me, sorry, I've got COVID, so my voice is going a bit. Saying, oh yes, in terms of the demographics of our student population on our MSc Entrepreneurship, it's actually very broad, both culturally and in terms of age. So we have significant proportions of mature students, and as I say, students from a wide range of cultural backgrounds. Just to say, from an undergraduate perspective, and I know we're not in a usual year, but the usual kind of undergraduate average for our students in terms of the breakdown of the demographic is about 20% of our students are from Cornwall. About 20% of our students are international students from all over the world. And then 60% of our students are from the rest of the UK. And within that undergraduate population, about 20% are mature students. And for undergraduate students, we classify the UK classification of a mature student is a student who is 21 or over at the point that they start their degree. So the proportion of mature students and the proportion of international students is much higher on our MSc Entrepreneurship, and it's higher still on our two online courses, the MA Creative Events Management and the MSc Sustainable Business, because obviously the advantage with those courses from an international student point of view is that you can be anywhere in the world to study them. You don't have to come to Falmouth. Although that might be the disadvantage, right? Because Falmouth is such a beautiful and amazing place.
Thank you, Adrian. The next part of the question was, the student is asking about the post-study work visa details.
I'm really sorry. What was the details they were asking about?
Post-study work visa.
Work visas. Okay. So again, this is something that you need expert advice on, not necessarily from an academic. But your agent should be able to help you with that. And also, you know, the UK does issue Tier 4 visas for study in the UK. They prohibit you from working more than a certain amount of hours and also from starting a business. That's one of the reasons that for the postgraduate offer, we have the MSc Entrepreneurship as a standalone qualification, which does not require you to start a business in a way that the MSc Entrepreneurship Launchpad does, if that makes sense. So, sorry, I'm being a little bit slopey-shouldered on that question. It's just that as academics, we don't generally get into the technical details of visas. Equally, if you ask me a detailed question about accommodation, I'm going to have to say, for instance, I'm going to have to say, well, you know, I can answer detailed questions about the course itself, but in terms of, you know, how many bathrooms there are in a particular accommodation block, that's one that you need to pick up with our accommodation services. So sorry if I'm not completely answering the question for you, but the UK welcomes international students. We do have a specific visa for it, and there is further help available, and I suggest through your agent in the first instance, and also then through other elements of the university is the way to go with that. Okay.
Thank you. The next question. Who are the top 5 employers after completing graduation in business?
So our students go into a range of different employability scenarios, actually. So we don't, rather than sort of tracking top 5, we tend to look across the piece and sort of marvel at the range of things that people do. So if you look at the film at the beginning gave quite a good snapshot, actually. So we had one graduate there coming out of a business degree who'd gone to work for Co-op Energy. So that's a, you know, decent sized corporate in the UK with an ethical sort of stance. Equally, another one had gone to work for a tech startup, been through a massive period of growth, and then set up his own business with several colleagues that he met through the network that he grew. He grew that network initially through placements that he gained while he was a student, and then continued to grow that and then set up his own business. Falmouth has one of the highest rates of business startups for our graduates in the UK. We're really proud of that. And we've got that kind of entrepreneurial sort of mindset, if you like, that kind of underpins the courses, the ethos, and the destinations ultimately of our graduates. I guess the other thing to say is that several of the courses are quite specific in terms of the sectors that they service, but nevertheless, students are gaining very transferable skills. So, for instance, if you come and do a creative events management course with us, you're learning those management skills through the sort of lens, if you like, of something that you're passionate about or interested in terms of events. But ultimately, those management skills are completely transferable. Once you've learned the financial and legal setup, in one scenario, you can transfer it to another. I always say you could apply them to running a baked bean factory. It's just that you might not be some people, nothing against baked beans, but some people might not be quite as passionate about baked beans as they are about tourism or about festivals or about events or etc. So I hope that answers that question. I'm losing my voice a little bit. It'd be great if we could find a question or two for you, Dip, while I just have a bit of water.
Yeah, thank you. The next question. Does Falmouth have May, October or January 2022 intake for Masters in Business?
Sorry, Judith, that's one for me, isn't it? So yes, our MSc Entrepreneurship has 3 intake points each year. So you can come in September, January or May. Same is true of our MA Creative Events Management and our MSc Sustainable Business. So we run those sort of multiple intakes for those degrees.
Thank you. The next question. What is the fee structure and any scope for scholarships?
So all fee information, etc., is available through the website. You should speak to your agent about fees as well. In terms of scholarships, I'm actually not best placed to answer that. Because I'm coming from the academic side of things. There have been some, we did launch a Commonwealth scholarship opportunity that linked to our MSc Entrepreneurship. So where we find opportunities, we absolutely will publicise them and to students. And that's a case of keeping an eye on our website and speaking to your agent. That particular one, as far as I'm aware, is closed at this point in time, but we're hoping it's going to become a recurrent year-on-year offer. Other scholarships, I'm really sorry, I'm not the best person to answer that question. But as I say, speak to your agent, check out the website, and keep an eye, keep a sort of watching brief, if you like, on this, because as I say, we are proactively looking for opportunities around scholarships, and as and when we are successful in generating any, we'll put them on the website.
Thank you.
Just to add to what Adrian was talking about, just in terms of scholarship, we have a few that we offer for the business school, ranging between £2,000 to £5,000, depending on your application and other things, your interview, and how exactly is it that the university perceives you. Other than that, you could also be, as Falmouth University, have a partnership with the Create Scholarship where you can apply separately. You can find all the information either on the page of our university, or you could just Google the Create Scholarship and you'll find all the information that you require. You won't have to apply separately for scholarships from the university itself. But when it comes to the Create Scholarship, there are a few things that you'd have to look into. Again, all the information is available on the website. And yeah.
Thank you so much. That's really helpful.
Thank you. The next question. Can I enroll myself in your master's program? Is any work experience needed?
So we always try and take a rounded view of applicants to all of our courses. We're always interested in you as a person. So we're interested in your personal statement. So if you do have work experience, etc., that's the place to kind of highlight it, if you like. That said, it's not a mandatory requirement that you have that experience. So so we're looking at a mixture of your academic achievements and then the rounded person, what other things you've been doing. And that might include, engaging in a sports club, being an officer of a sports club, or it might be setting up a sports-based business. I mean, it's pretty broad, right? I'm really keen to bring Judith into this. Judith, what sort of stuff did you put on your application? Did you include some of that kind of stuff in yours?
Yes, so I included a bit of work experience because I'm a mature student. So I was out from education for quite a while before I applied. And I also went to college in another country. So I relied on that a little bit as well. But what I really wanted to add to one of the previous questions about the future employers is I feel the modules that we learn at Falmouth are so broad that whether you want to look into work in crisis management or you want to work for sustainable energy companies or marketing, we cover these modules. So you do gain some experience and knowledge. So that makes you very likely to be able to pick lots of different jobs and job titles. So top 5 employers doesn't exist in a way because it's top 5 in which sector. So Falmouth is giving you such a great opportunity that you can pick and choose your interest in some of your assessments. So it's up to you what you invest your time and knowledge in. And with that, you get the support from the university. So have a good idea of what you like to achieve and what's interesting for you. And aim for that, because in the modules, you can build that in. So there's no such thing as top 5. Just find your interest and go with that because you'll get the support. So I really wanted to put this out there.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Judith. And that whole thing of sort of creating a bespoke experience, you know, and a bespoke journey through your degree, that's something that we were really careful to design in when we validated the courses. So yeah, just to really reiterate what Judith said, you can absolutely kind of have a bespoke journey through this, and you can apply your own interests. And one of the brilliant things about coming to university actually is that you might come in interested in one thing and emerge interested in something completely different. And that's completely allowed, right? That's okay too. So it's supposed to be a transformative experience, and those deep dives, sometimes they confirm, yes, this is definitely the direction I want to travel in. Sometimes they start to ask a few questions, and maybe you move to a slightly different topic, and that's all part of your learning experience with us. And it's also part of that vital thing that you're doing when you're here, which is building your network. We keep a close eye on the sorts of skills that employers are looking for in our graduates, and there's a big piece around a couple of things that I'd highlight actually. Firstly, there's a big piece around creative skills and creativity, because creativity drives innovation. Creativity currently isn't digitizable in the way that, for instance, accountancy skills are through accountancy software, or the knowledge of law is through the horribly named law bots. So that creative piece is something that employers look for, and it's a real strength of Falmouth University. We're surrounded by creative practitioners. We were experts with over 100 years of building people's creativity, and that's around taking a creative approach to problem solving. It's not necessarily me saying, oh, so you need to be able to draw something really well to come here and do a business course. It's more that I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, you know, we will help you to build your creative response to challenges that you meet in the worlds of business and experience design. So I was going to say something else, but that's gone out of my mind because I majored on the creativity thing. Shall we have another question?
Thank you. The next question. What is the benefit for me if I study MSc in Entrepreneurship Launchpad?
So within MSc Entrepreneurship Launchpad, it's a highly selective process. If you're successful, we waive your fees currently, and currently we also have a stipend available, which comes out the back end really for international students who require a tier 4 visa. It's a slightly complicated process to go through, but we absolutely have international students who are working through that. You have to change your visa status when you at the point that you actually start a business. So the benefits are that it reduces your cost because there's no fees for the qualification. There's an opportunity of a stipend. You get put into a team to develop a business which you have a share in. So it's an unusual and highly beneficial program.
Thank you. The next question. I have completed my BBA in 2018 and have 3 years of experience in automotive industry. Can I apply for a master's in business?
Absolutely. Yes, we'd love you to. Please do.
Thank you. The next question. I have 3 years of experience in HR. Can I apply for master's in business? Is there any specialized course which is of 1 year?
I can take it from here if you want, Adrian, if you're through.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I'll just have another sip of water.
Yeah, no worries. As far as HR specifically concerned, first, the application that, yes, of course, you can apply, as Adrian mentioned multiple times already. It's a very, very broad subject area that we're studying. And so we'd be happy to have people coming from all sorts of backgrounds so that they bring their experience with them, which also gives a certain extra edge to students because, there's a lot of interlearning as well that happens apart from the people who are teaching you. As far as the specific course for HR codes, no, we really don't have anything specifically for HR management, but you would be learning a lot of it while you'd be studying. So, yeah.
Yeah, I completely support what Arav said. And I'd add as well that on the sustainable business course, there's a module that looks at that, managing change piece, which obviously includes HR within it. And it's giving you that something extra in the workplace, which is increasingly in demand. The things that we see certainly within the UK growing in terms of demand, there's a growth in roles that focus on sustainability, growth in roles that focus on the digital and broadly and marketing in specific, growth in roles that look at sort of inclusion type pieces, so things like accessibility officers at events, growth in that whole well-being piece as well across the piece. So which again links to all those things, linked to HR actually, if you think about it. You don't have to think about it very hard to see that. So yes, I support what's been said, and I think that HR experience would stand you in really good stead were you to come on to either the MSc Entrepreneurship, which is a 1-year qualification to answer that part of the question, or the online sustainable business, MSc Sustainable Business.
Thank you. The next question. Do you have graduate student with family accompanied? Is there any support provided for?
Yes, there are plenty of students who do come with their family and everything. We'd be happy to support in whatever way we can, but apart from that, the rest of the visas and everything, which is, I'm sure, is something that would be a question in the person's head as well, as something that we won't be able to help out with. But yeah, I'm sure the UK government would be happy to have families over as well.
And there's things like a creche on campus and good local primary schools. So it's, Falmouth is a very family friendly place. Nice beaches.
Thank you. The next question. Do you have student accommodation? If so, how does it work?
I'll take that. No worries. Right. So we do have student accommodation on both our campuses. It's relatively cheaper as compared to what it is with the rest of the UK. I think the rent is averaging between 115 to 120 pounds a week. So all on-campus accommodation is available. We can guarantee accommodation to international undergraduate students. For masters, we do have a few other. So it's basically first come first basis in terms of getting our accommodation, and UG is given preference. But as far as postgraduate is concerned, yes, there are student accommodations as well, but it would completely depend on the availability. Accommodations start sometime in the first week of April, and yeah.
And there's a range.
Just quickly that on our website, on the Falmouth University website, there is a virtual tour around, so you can actually look into the different kind of accommodation. Some are different sizes. So yeah, there's definitely worth looking. because you can just walk around them virtually, so you get to do and see them better.
Thank you. I think I've covered all the questions from the chat box. Many thanks for answering all the questions so well and sharing your knowledge with us. We are now moving towards the end of this seminar. I would request if you have anything else you would like to put forward for the audience who are watching us live right now.
Just to say thank you. Just to say thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you in beautiful Falmouth. But over to colleagues who've got other things to add.
Nothing. I think you covered pretty much everything that I had to say. So good one.
Yeah. I would just add one more thing. Really, is when you come from overseas, that it's really easy to feel a little bit lost, but Falmouth is really supportive in both academic and in a personal way as well. We do have lots of societies that you can join, so you can meet like-minded people with different or same interests, is your choice. So it's very quick to feel at home at Falmouth once you arrived. So it's a great atmosphere and a lot of support and a lot of opportunities. So that should just encourage you to apply as well. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much for your kind words. To all the audience, if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact SIUK India offices. We'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much for your valuable time today. And I wish Adrian will get well soon. Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care.